Millions of computers are set for a major upgrade. Windows 10 is out today. It is the latest version of Microsoft's flagship operating system. And Microsoft says that it is the last version of Windows. Now, this release, it comes at a very critical time for Microsoft. Windows is still the dominant desktop operating system, but desktops and laptops are not the dominant forms of computing anymore. These are smartphones are fast becoming the primary way people interact with computers, and there are far more of them than PCs. In fact, IDC says Samsung alone shipped more handsets in 2014 than all the PCs in the world combined. Windows 10 is Microsoft's answer. It isn't just a PC operating system, but the foundation for developers to make apps that will run across a wide variety of devices: desktops, laptops, tablets, smartphones, the Xbox, the HoloLens headset, even the tiny Raspberry Pi. Microsoft wants Windows apps to run on all these devices, but that will only work if Windows 10 is actually any good. So let's get an expert's take on the new operating system right now. Tom Warren is a senior editor at The Verge, and he joins me now live from London. Tom, good to see you. Now, I know that you have managed to test and review Windows 10. Is it any good?
Yeah, it's a pretty good upgrade. There's a few features in there that are cool. I know your story sort of mentioned the mobile stuff, and it's obviously only really for PCs now. But there's some interesting built-in apps. You've got like a new mail app, there's a new Xbox app, and if you want to stream Xbox One games to your PC, that's pretty cool. So if you've got a TV and you want to go and play an Xbox One game in your bedroom and stuff, you can do that. The start menus come back. That's probably the big thing, alongside a black sort of dark theme to Windows 10. The start menu is really the return. They took it away in Windows 8. It kind of annoyed people that it was a full screen start screen, and they kind of moved it out of the way, and they brought back a little button in Windows 8, but it kind of wasn't enough, and people kind of didn't really like Windows 8 and didn't necessarily want to upgrade to it.
So a big upgrade to the user interface. Let's talk about the new browser now. With Windows 10, Internet Explorer is gone. We now have something called Edge. How is it?
Yeah, so Edge is good. Internet Explorer is still kind of there in the background. So say you go to a browser page in Edge, and it doesn't quite work well, then you can fire it up in Internet Explorer. But Edge itself is still kind of clinging to Internet Explorer. The new taskbar icon is pretty much like the Internet Explorer icon. Not really a big change. In terms of features, you can, if you've got like a stylus, like a tablet with a pen, you could draw over web pages, share them with friends over mail or over social networks, all that sort of stuff. And there's Cortana, which is the new digital assistant. So say you start typing in the address bar. If you normally type in google.com, if you start typing in weather, you'll get the weather results just without even have to hit enter. So they'll just come up sort of in line. So that's kind of useful. Other than that, it's still kind of early days for Edge. We're still waiting for like extension support and just other sort of basic features to be added in there.
Got it. It sounds like you also give a good review to Cortana, Microsoft's digital assistant. Now, Tom, one of the most exciting features people are looking forward to is Continuum on smartphones.
Right.
What is that?
Yeah, so Continuum is basically the sort of keyword for turning, on the PC side at least, it's turning a device from like a PC with a keyboard and a tablet, and a keyboard and a mouse into a tablet. So stuff like the Surface Pro 3, devices like that, and the Surface 3, those sort of devices will support Continuum naturally. What that basically means is, say you've got a keyboard attached to the tablet, you can pull it off and you'll get a little prompt in the bottom right which will then say, do you want to turn it into tablet mode? It's basically a better way of bridging the world of like the full screen touch apps and the traditional desktop where you're using your keyboard and mouse. And it's also coming to the phones. Microsoft are going to do a couple of phones later this year that will have this feature. And essentially that will mean you'll be able to use your phone, connect it up to a monitor with a mouse and keyboard, and then just use it like a desktop PC. You won't have all the sort of traditional apps, so you have to use these new sort of touch-based apps. But you will effectively be able to use it as a PC on the go. And that's kind of interesting, kind of exciting. We'll see if that's the future of like phones and PCs.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, Windows 10 is multi-platform, meaning the same software can power PCs, mobile devices, wearables, game consoles, etc. Do you think this strategy, this Windows everywhere strategy, is going to work out for Microsoft?
Really, that's really hard to say right now. I mean, so we kind of heard this similar sort of story with Windows 8. The big idea was that they'd force this start screen down on everyone on the PCs to try and convince developers to build apps. It didn't really pay off because people didn't really like Windows 8 being like full screen and no start menu and stuff. And the sort of story this time is they're giving it away free to Windows 7 and Windows 8.1 users. And the idea is that they have a huge install base, so then developers will have will basically have to create apps for the operating system. The only thing that's going to hold it back is I think a lot of developers right now are creating mobile apps before they create the sort of desktop apps. So I think that's still really going to continue. So I don't know that this is necessarily going to be like the key to solve that problem.
And a final question for you, which is really an existential question about Microsoft. What does the release of Windows 10 say about Microsoft, especially Microsoft under Satya Nadella? Is Microsoft, do you feel, really had to innovate and to stay relevant in the mobile era?
Yes, I think the mobile era is still a slight concern. We still haven't seen Windows 10 on phones and how that's going to work and exactly how all these apps are going to interact and work across all these devices. I think what Windows 10 itself says about Microsoft, in particular on the PC side, is that they're listening to customers. So they've been testing this operating system over the last 9 months with around about 5 million people. And they've been taking that feedback, tweaking things, and trying to get it to a state where people like using it. So I think Satya himself said that they want they want users who are using Microsoft services and Windows itself to actually love using Windows rather than needing to use it at work. So I think that's kind of where they're heading with the feedback stuff, to turn Windows into something that people love rather than they have to use.
All right, Tom Warren of The Verge. Many thanks indeed for sharing your thoughts on Microsoft and Windows 10 with us here on Newsstream. Thank you and take care.
Thank you.